How many of those you got to do then?
It's the last one.
How many have you done then?
7. I'm Tom, and I'm the LD for Australian Pink Floyd.
So, LD, for those who are idiots like me, lighting?
Lighting designer / lighting director in this case.
That means deciding what lights go where and how they...
Yeah, in a nutshell, I'm responsible for coming up with
I'm just going to have it over your shoulder while you say
what
this.
this looks like and deciding in its simplest form what colour it needs to be and what light is on when.
Okay, so how much of that do you kind of decide, and how much is kind of not necessarily copied but inspired by the original stuff?
Well, in this case, it's a Pink Floyd show, so you've got to take inspiration from what was done. I mean, Pink Floyd were leaders in innovation and everything else, and trying to push it forward to the next level. So, yeah, okay, I've sat and I've watched old YouTube videos of concerts and gigs and stuff as to what they've done in the past and tried to take a little bit of that and put it into this. I mean, it's a lot more modern nowadays, but you can still have the odd little nod to what it used to be.
How did you get into this game? Where did it all start for you?
I held a bloke's ladder, actually. I had absolutely no interest in this when I was at school. And I held a guy's ladder and thought, oh, this looks all right. And that's basically it. I went on and I did some casual work for some local companies. And that I kind of learnt the trade there. I haven't always sat behind this. I've been doing a lot harder work than this in the past, building structures and ground supports and stages and whatnot. And I've lifted all the decking and I've done all that as well. And now I'm lucky enough to be sat behind the glory end, I suppose, if you want to call it that. But no, and I worked for some local companies and eventually thought the time's right now to go self-employed, freelance, and see what else is out there. And the rest was history. I was in the right place at the right time. Chris, the production manager on this, called me and asked me if I wanted to be involved with this, and that was 4 years ago now, and I'm still here, and I've kind of worked my way up, and I'm now this end. It's great.
What countries have you been touring on though? In?
It's probably easier to tell you which ones I haven't. UK, France, Germany, Czech Republic, America, Canada. There's a few others in there. Russia, I've been to Russia. I've been to Italy. I'm sure there's more, but a few. Yeah, lots.
Have you got any advice for someone who's fancying getting into this game or thinks that they might have a good eye for lighting?
Straight up, it's hard to get into. It is. My best advice, I think, is to probably pop down to keep pestering your local production companies and things like that, and maybe do the odd bit of casual work, see if it's for you. If you're good enough, they'll maybe take you on, and you can, you've got to start small. It's like any job, and you're not just going to end up, bang, I'm travelling the world. You might do, in which case, hat off to you. But I think start small, have realistic, views on it all, and who knows? Fingers crossed. One day, you might be doing your dream job and doing what you want to do.
So how many people will be here tonight, and does it matter how many people are here as to what you do, or is it the same show, whatever?
I don't know how many people will be here tonight, a few thousand. No, the same show. We try and do as much as we can for everybody. So in here, this is the full rig. If we put this into a smaller venue, it might change, but we still try and get the same amount of gear in there and cram it in and make it look the best we can. But in terms of what's actually happening, it doesn't change. Things might just be in a slightly different place, but it's the same show essentially, and that's the challenge for the other guys that put it in every day and try and make it work and try and make it fit. And they might have me on their back saying, can we get this in here and that in there, and they do a good job. So
Do you ever have to climb? Have you got to have a head for heights for this job?
In my position, typically not, but the guys downstage, the climbing is a pretty normal thing to do in this. I mean, focusing lights, fixing things, swapping things out. We always try not to do it, but sometimes it's inevitable and something needs fixing, and the guys have to climb. Which,
And if you got some advice for, say, a band setting out, like a smallish band, but what's the best way they can have an impact with, say, putting on a show and having a bit of light? Because obviously we've not all got thousands kicking around.
No, keep it simple. Some of the best advice I was given was to turn the lights off and start again, and don't keep it. Doesn't need to be complicated, Solid colours, solid things. It doesn't need to look like a disco, unless you're at a disco, of course, in which case it does. But keep it simple.
That's great. Any other advice that you can think of? That's quite good. Are you limited by budgets and things like that, or?
Yeah, everybody is. I think in every form of life, especially this. You got to work within a budget. You always try and get as much as you can out of people, but sometimes they say no, and you've just got to lump it and get on with it. And I guess you are limited by budgets. What
sort of power does a set like this draw?
I think we're on. I mean, you've got things like the strobes here. I mean, these things are pretty bright, pretty punchy. We've got the moles, the blinders, and these they draw a lot of power when we go. I think we asked for a 400 amp supply, and that does lights. I think audio is probably on a 200 or something. I don't know. So there's quite a lot of power involved. It's getting better with LED and things, but the brighter the LED, the more power that draws as well. So you're just kind of fighting a losing battle, I think. Everything's getting a lot more efficient, and that's good, I think, ultimately.
How much of this is pre-programmed, and how much do you have to kind of do when you hit the cues?
Well, a lot of this actually. So if we this is Sorrow that's running, for example, now. Great sorrow lies over the land. We have just go back to the beginning. It's essentially made up of a stack of cues. So
it's a bit like a timeline going down then?
Yeah, it's a timeline going down rather than across. You can set it up with time code and MIDI and things to trigger certain things if you've got a lot of things going on. We've got some of that happening here, and we just overlay all things. We can just add things in as we go. So the main bulk of the look is in the stack, is in the timeline, and we just add other things in, whether that be different colours or strobes or whatever.
What's the kit you're using here?
This is a Camsys Magic Q100. That's the console, and we're using a playback wing from Camsys as well. Great company, British made. It's extremely reliable. I've not had any problems with it. It's great. I love it. Nice and easy to use.
I hope you enjoyed that video all about stage lighting on the Australian Pink Floyd show tour. Plenty more from that tour to see on the Racket, and please subscribe to the channel. Regular videos coming your way. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. I've said that before, it doesn't really work, does it? Look forward to seeing your comments, and hopefully click like if you like the videos, and we shall interact in some magical internet way. Bye.
I'm lucky to have a few of his pedals, some of which are at home, but this one here is the P2, which is the same overdrive.
Just gonna head into one of the tour buses.
There's a secret code, yeah?
You're gonna film the secret code?
No, I'm not.